Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melina. I do videos about makeup, plants, my life, and travel. But today we're gonna talk plants and why I got so obsessed with plants that I even purchased $1,000 plants. Like, I know some of you are gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna break it down on why the market got so expensive in 2020 in the pandemic and how the market dropped. And now it's the perfect chance to get into rare plants because the prices have dropped. I'm gonna name a few of my favorite plant genuses, and I'm also gonna talk about how some plants can go from this to looking like this. So before I start the video, please do subscribe to my channel, and if you guys already fell in love with my personality, you guys could follow me at Melina Glam on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and I believe that's it. But without further ado, let's talk about plants. Rare plants, $1,000 plants. They're cheap now. Okay, you guys, if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that I'm obsessed with plants, and not just regular plants, with rare plants that you cannot find at Home Depot. So this video is gonna specify in plants that are more exotic, more rare, that you can find in the rainforests of Colombia, South America, Mexico, Costa Rica, Ecuador, all that region. So let me show you the plant that started it all for me. So you know, I was browsing YouTube and then I saw this YouTuber that I watched, and she kept talking about her monstera, her monstera, her monstera. I'm like, what's a monstera? This is the monstera deliciosa. It's so beautiful. It's tropical looking. It has splits on the leaves. It's easy care, and it'll make your house look like a jungle. I love it because this is not expensive. Literally was $16 at Home Depot. So I know you guys are saying, didn't you just say you just collect rare plants? Well, my very first plant wasn't rare, but here's how I got into rare plants. There's regular monsteras, and then there's variegated monsteras, which I have one up here. And as you can see, she looks just like that one, but she has white speckling and sections of white in her, which make her very rare. So she gets that white in the leaves because the plant has less chlorophyll. So pretty much that would be the albino of plants. It's rare, it's one of a kind. Variegation doesn't happen often. It happens rarely. There's not a lot of variegated monsteras. There wasn't anyway back then in 2020. The people that had them first posted them on Instagram, and Facebook and social media, to be exact, made this plant very popular because of all the pictures and posts, and everybody was like, all the plant people back then wanted this plant, so supply didn't meet demand, and so the variegated monstera went from costing about $50 to $500, even thousands of dollars for a variegated monstera. 2021 is when I first got my variegated monstera. It looked something like this. This is not it. This is a child of my mother plant, which is right there. So monsteras come in different forms. This is the baby form. As you can see, monsteras start with heart-shaped leaves. Then when they grow up and you give it a pole, or in my case, you give it a wood plank, it grows up, it becomes a lush tree, and you get splits in your leaves. So here I have two baby monsteras. This is a regular form monstera and this is a variegated form monstera. So this is a plain green one that's very inexpensive. You can get this for $5 because it's a juvenile form. And nowadays, you can get variegated monsteras, maybe a 2-leaf for $50, $40. It's still quite a lot for plants, but back then, it used to be $100 a leaf. $100 a freaking leaf. So, do the math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be $700 back then. Now I would estimate this to sell for $200, if that, maybe for sure 100 or 150 for this one. My mother plant, I'm never gonna sell. I'm never gonna cut. I might cut, I don't know. That one's at least worth $500. But yeah, that's a little bit about my variegated monstera, my first plant, and how variegated things in the plant world cost more because you're basically paying for the white in your plant. So I don't know, people just made these plants very desirable, and like I said, supply didn't meet demand, so they got very expensive, especially in the pandemic when everybody got into plants all of a sudden, including me, because we were looking for something to do. We didn't have jobs or we got laid off or whatever, so that's how plant prices got really high. So let me tell you, right now plant prices have dropped a lot. So you can get these, like I said, a full plant like this for $200. This used to be $700. But like I said, there's monsteras now for, I think I even saw one for like 40, 30, the lowest, but it had very low variegation. So like this one, for example, let me just show you, like, a leaf like this would be cheaper versus a leaf like this that has more variegation would be more expensive. So it depends. The more white it has, the more expensive. Monsteras, they love to climb up trees. As you can see, they produce little roots in every section. In the stem, they produce roots, which are called aerial roots. So they produce these because they love to climb. So these roots would attach to a tree in nature. So people like to give them moss pools or wooden planks. So I definitely need to put a wooden plank or a moss pole so these leaves can get bigger and they can get the splits faster, and your plant will just be so much happier because it believes it's in nature in a tree. So yeah. Now I'm gonna show you a few more plant species that are rare that you can get that are quite affordable. Yeah, and most of my plants I got from Equigenera or I got them from Facebook Market. Okay, so another species I'm gonna talk about is philodendron, and this one specifically is the philodendron esmeraldense, and I got this one on Equigenera. I believe this is the narrow form because there's a wide form and a narrow form. So look at the leaves, it looks amazing, you guys. So this is definitely wanting a pole and wants a pole and wants to be a stripper. I know, a fucking stripper. I'm just kidding, you guys, but seriously, like, it needs a pole because it's wobbling, and if I don't give it a pole soon, the stem is gonna snap. But literally, these in nature grow up in trees. And as you can see, it has little roots already waiting to attach to trees, but it's still growing. As you can see, some of the leaves on the bottom look larger, and then as it gets bigger, they get smaller, and that's my fault because I haven't given it a pole. But anyways, this is philodendron. This is a philodendron species, which means it likes to climb up poles. And this one specifically is very easy care. It's growing in leca balls, it's growing in perlite, and a little sphagnum moss. I will have a video explaining what each substrate is. Pretty much all those are different substrates. They kind of look like the leca balls are clay. The perlite is a type of volcanic rock, and then moss is found in nature. Yeah, that's what it's growing, and I'm growing it in a jar. It needs to be like potted soon, because as you can see, the roots are saying help, like literally, get me out of this jar. I am so big, like give me a different home. So I need to work on that. But anyways, this is so easy care, you guys. I got it from Equigenera, like I said, and I got it with 2 leaves, and now it has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's working on the 9th leaf, you guys. So, yeah, I got it about a year ago. Yeah, she's definitely happy. So this is, again, Philodendron esmeraldense, and you can find it at equigenera.com. So here I have an anthurium, and this one specifically is Anum Crystallium. And as you can see, it's called the Anum Crystallium because of its beautiful venation. Look at the veins. It looks like glitter. It's so glittery hearts. Oh my god. And when they come out reddish brown, and then they get bigger and they turn green. This is a more advanced plant because as you can see, some of the leaves start yellowing faster, and it requires more light, some humidity. It doesn't like to be cold. And I'm growing it in leca, pretty much, which are clay balls. You can find clay balls at IKEA. Even IKEA sells them. But anyways, I imported this plant from Indonesia. It was on Etsy, but Equigenera is where you can get them for sure. You can get them now at Equigenera. I believe they're like 30 bucks on the site. 30 bucks or 40 bucks, so it's not that expensive. So yeah, you could get an Anum Crystallium. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, these plants are from Colombia. I have tropical plants from different parts of the world. If you guys like plants that are heart-shaped, this is your girl. Some alocasias include the elephant ears that you guys probably seen in parks, or your neighbor has it, or you even have it in your backyard. But let me show you my alocasia. So this is my alocasia Variegated. So she's an alocasia, like I said, and she does resemble the elephant ears that we all know, but the difference is this one is velvety. As you can see, the leaves look like velvet, and the veins are popping out so pronounced. It's like a pronounced white. Oh my god, it's so pretty. And it already has little babies. It has different sprouts, different growth points. Because this plant, you can divide it with the corms. It makes like these little seeds, and then you can take them off and grow a different plant. That's how you divide this plant. It grows little seeds that are called corms, and you can pick them out, and then they'll develop into a brand new plant. With alocasias, you cannot propagate, which means you cannot cut it and make a whole new plant. You can get new plants by the corms. And yeah, so these are the little babies. They came from the corms that I'm talking about. So yeah, look at the juvenile leaves. You could hardly see the veins, versus the more mature leaves. You can definitely see the veins, and it's velvety. I could make a dress out of it if I wanted to. I'm just kidding, you guys. But yeah, alocasias are definitely more for the advanced plant grower because, as you can see, some of the leaves are starting to yellow, and I do give it water, but this plant does require a lot of light. And most of the times when they're babies like this, they like a lot of humidity. They don't like the cold. So these are harder to keep alive, as you can see. With alocasias, they can lose all their leaves and go back to just a stump. But don't throw away your plant if you just see a stem. Keep it, because these go dormant in the winter time, or when you piss it off, they lose all of their leaves. Just keep the plant, keep it alive, keep watering it and whatnot. And then in the springtime, they'll bounce back even harder with more leaves, and they just get stronger. So don't throw away your alocasias. Please don't. They'll bounce back. They're just taking a break, or you just pissed it off. Yeah, this is one of my favorite alocasias. I do have the variegated one that's killing herself that I have talked about. I have like 2 videos of it, and she's variegated, but she produces a lot of white. So that's one thing about variegation that I didn't tell you guys. We like variegation. It's desirable. Everyone wants it in their plants because it makes the plant look pretty, but it's pretty much a death sentence. It's like a virus, because the white and the leaves of a plant, if it's variegated, doesn't let it photosynthesize, because the green is the chlorophyll that's in the plant. If it's a full white leaf, it's never gonna photosynthesize because it's lacking chlorophyll. So the chlorophyll helps the plant grow and take the sun, energy from the sun, so it can feed itself. So when the leaves are mostly white or pure white and it has like only a little bit of green, the leaf is gonna be gone. It's gonna be pretty for 1 or 2 days, and that full white leaf, or maybe a little speckle of green in your white leaf, is gonna make the plant kill itself. It's not gonna like itself. And most of the time, when you get like pure white leaves, it's gonna keep popping more white and white and white. You want your variegation to be more stable, like I showed you guys earlier. So this plant is a variegated monstera, like I said, but the leaves are speckled. So as you can see, it just keeps producing speckled leaves. But yeah, you guys, those are some of my plants that I have. For my next video, I will be putting one of my rare plants on a moss pole, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, you guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye, guys.